In this video I'm going to show you how to create manufacturing drawings from the parts and assemblies you've already created within IronCAD. This particular model I believe was covered in an earlier video, unique tri-ball basics, and the actual model itself can be downloaded from our website. And in actual fact the earlier video showed you how to put this assembly together using the tri-ball. And as I say, you can download that and try that for yourself. But for now, we'll assume that that's done, and we've assembled all the components, as you can see here. Now, before we go away and actually create the 2D manufacturing drawing, what I'm going to sort of tell you about is the fact that you can also set up multiple configurations of this view. So, you know, for manufacturing purposes, you might want to provide the user with some sort of exploded view showing how these components come away from this particular base object here. So if you come down the bottom of the screen here, you'll see a little tri-coloured icon which is to do with configurations, and if I select that once with the left mouse button, it will bring up this configurations dialog box. And currently we've got one set, which is the default view, which we're looking at on the screen at the moment. But if I select the create button there, what I can do in actual fact is maybe give this a different name, and I'm just going to call it dis for disassembly. And then we can come down here, and at the bottom you've got one called advanced properties, and that's exploded configuration for free positional movement, and I'm going to select that box there and simply say OK. So now we've actually got the dis one here and the default one. So for now I'm going to go back to the default one and apply and say close. So this is our default view here. And what I'm going to do now is actually come down to the lower right part of the screen here, expand that little box and select the dis option there. And now what I can do, I can actually select each individual component. So I'll select that component there and press F10, that shaft, key shaft. And I'm just going to simply, with the left mouse button, drag the outer handle like so. So I've actually moved it away from the main assembly, and press F10 to detach the tri-ball. I'll then pick up this gate arrangement here, F10, and I'm going to just lift that up with the left mouse button, dragging the outer handle. And I'm just going to actually, let's bring it over here, maybe move it up a bit. You can you can move these wherever you like. Press F10 to detach that one from there. And let's come into the keyway there. And I'll press F10 again, and what I'm going to do now in actual fact is left mouse button, I'm just going to bring that up there, and I'll drag it back in here so that we can see it, and maybe just move it up a bit more like that. Let's bring it back a little bit, let's go that way. So there we've actually got our keyway like so, and maybe I'll come back in here and I'll just move that one out of the way so you can see all of that keyway. So that's that, and we come to the final component here, so we double click on that one, we press F10, and we simply left mouse drag outer handle and I'll move it up away from the part. So there we have our exploded assembly arrangement. In fact, I'm just going to bring that one down a little bit, keep it clean and tidy. So there we are. So that's basically our assembly. Including the configuration views that we might want to use in association with this drawing. So now what we do, we go to draft. So I've already opened a document here in draft, and so we just fire draft up, and in here you've got a thing called 3D interface tab above the ribbon toolbar. And what I can do here, if I just select the standard view option over here, that will actually give me a preview of what I'm seeing in terms of an end elevation of that assembly. So what I can do, if I want to rotate that, I can select this arrow at the top here. So we may be looking in plan now on that view. I'll select that as a primary view. Maybe I want a side elevation there and a top elevation there, and I'll just say OK. And that'll go away, and that'll actually create those views for you automatically. I'll just move that down a little bit and move that up. So that's basically our three primary views. We go back to 3D standard view, and maybe what we want to do here in actual fact is we underneath the actual view, the preview window, we've got one called from file. So if I click that, you're actually looking at a perspective view now of that model. And what I'll do, I'm going to go up to options tab here, and down here there's hidden lines which I can include or not. If I say do not export, that means they won't be included. Fillet lines, that's set to do not export, but I'm going to select export all because we've got some fillets and blends and that in this assembly, and I want to show those in these views. Go back to view settings and simply select the primary view button in the middle again and go OK, and that will actually bring up our perspective view like so. And I'm now going to go back and I'm going to go to 3D interface standard view again, and what I'll do, I'll say from file, but this time instead of the default view down here alongside config, I'm going to select the disassembled version, and there we are, that's our view there. Again, go to options and I'm going to go to export all hidden lines, and I'll go back to view settings, select that as a primary view and say OK. So effectively now we've also got our exploded view of that assembly as well. So that's how quick and easy that is. What I'm also going to do is maybe just add a few dimensions for this assembly. So up here above the ribbon toolbar you've got one called dimension. So I'm just going to go here and I'm going to select smart dimension, and what I can do there in actual fact is come down here and I can just pick one of these. Let's pick that one there, pick that one there, and just put a dimension in there like so. Now in actual fact that dimension there is a bit small, so you can, we're using the star manager option, you can actually in fact change the values of these. So under common here we've got one called star manager, and if I go down there there's one there called text, and if I select text it'll bring up a dialog box, and in here we can change our font and our font size, spacing and so on. So I'm going to actually select this Western font download box here, and I'm going to drag that up there, and I'm going to pick something that's a bit more common, so I'll go to Arial Unicode, and maybe I'll make that default text height 10 like so, and go apply and go OK. So when you go back into the model you can see that that's a bit bigger now. And then I'll come along back to a dimension, and I'll go smart dimension. It's already clicked, so I'm just going to pick a dimension here. So maybe I'll pick one for that one there down to here, and I'll just put a dimension in there for that one like so. Maybe I'll put one there to say there, pick that one, just put a dimension in there like so. Maybe another one from there to say the top of there. Let's do that again. Let's just do dimension again, smart dimension, pick that one there, and let's come down to that one there and drag that across. So let's pick that one there, so that one there, there we are. We've actually got a dimension there now as well for that height and so on. We've also got other selections under dimension. If I go to base, we can actually pick up any entity, single entity, and we can put the radii of these circles in like this, and that'll do for that. Maybe I should put some dimensions in for the actual distance between centres on these holes. Let's put a couple in there, so we've got one like so. And let's go and maybe pick another one, that one there to that one there, and so on. And maybe we want one from the base there up to here, and so on and so forth. So it's very quick to actually create these dimensions as well. And that's pretty much how easy it is to put those dimensions on the actual model. The other thing you can do as well is put other things in here as well. So you might want to actually put things like section views and detail views in here. So for instance, under the generate view option from 3D interface, I can select the section view here, and I'll just come in here and let's maybe put a section view through here. So I'll just put one up there, come down here like so, press the right mouse button when I've got that in there, and then basically what I can do, I can drag that over there and I'll actually put the section view in there for me as well. And if you want, you can change the spacing on the hatch. So up here we've got under view edit, we've got edit hatch, so I'll just pick this one here, and what I'll do, maybe I'll give that a spacing of 6, and you'll see that it changes the pitch between the cross hatching, and just say OK. So you know, we can very quickly go in here and start changing this, and if you want you can go back to dimension, you can start dimensioning features on that section view as well. So maybe I want that one there to that one there, and maybe that one there to that one there, and so on. So that's how easy it is to create section views in here. You can also go up here, maybe you want to do under 3D interface again, generate view, we'll go to detail view, and I'll just come in here and maybe I'll just pick something in here like that, do a right mouse button click and just come down here, and you can have, I'll go to author, it'll give me the various options. I'll pick that one there so it's in line with the actual, with the view that we've got above it. And if you want to move these views at any time, you can do that. You just pick on it and then you can just drag it and put it wherever you wish, like so. So and the same applies for these views as well. You can drag these around as well and move these out the way if you want to as well. So that's that done. So we've actually created our drawing here with some dimensions on it with the various views. We've got a section view there. We've done some part dimensioning on that. We've got a detail view over here. We've got two perspectives, one showing the actual sort of default view with it assembled, and the other one is a view which shows it in the exploded view. And so you can see very quickly how easy it is to actually generate these engineering drawings once you've actually spent time creating the model itself. Another thing that may occur, obviously, if we go back to our original model here, we may decide to make a change to this model. So what I can do, I'm just going to simply go up to our catalogue browser here. I'm going to take a negative H cylinder object from the shapes catalogue. I'll just drag and drop that onto the top of that base like so. So you can see it's going all the way through. So now in actual fact, if I go back to our draft drawing, it's going to tell me that the changes occurred to the actual model and do I want to change it. So it says information of the 3D view has been changed. Do you want to update? And I'll just say yes. And basically what it will do, it will go away and it will update the respective views. So you can actually see that these views that are relevant have actually been updated to show that new hole feature. Like so. So that's how easy it is to actually to control changes with the drawings themselves. So they're fully associative. Any changes to the part or the assembly are reflected in the drawing when you open it again. So it's all done automatically for you. So I hope that's been useful. It gives you an insight into how you can create drawings using IronCAD, and I wish you all the very best. Thanks.